Okay, welcome back. So, of course, you'd know that October is Transport Month, and to kick off the celebrations, rail advocates are highlighting basically its potential as a preferred mode of transport for smarter cities at the Smart Mobility Africa Summit 2024, which took place from the 2nd of October until the 4th at Johannesburg's Gallagher Convention Centre. A compelling case study showcased rail's contributions to urban development. And to discuss this further, we're joined in studio by Dr. Buyiswa Mncono-Liwani, who is the Operations Executive at Gibela Rail. Doctor, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. We do appreciate your time. I want to talk about the conference that was held at Gallagher Convention Centre, the Smart Mobility Africa Conference. How does Gibela Rail contribute to the development of smart cities and basically the mobility of people in general?
Good morning, Griselda, and thanks for having me. So it was an exciting time for us as Gibela to go and participate in this conference. And what it means for us, it presented an opportunity for us to profile what we've done as the company and in terms of advancing transformation and localization of the railway industry. So what we've done, amongst others, is to build reliable and safe trains on behalf of PRASA. Today, PRASA is able to move its commuters due to our contribution. And when one looks at our trains, some of their safety features includes that one of having an anti-crash system, which protects the commuters and the driver in case of an accident. And it also brings comfort to commuters, where our trains have CCTVs and they also have air conditions. Over and above that, we have a factory that we've built and completed it in 2017. And this is at the center of advancing localization. We have created a lot of jobs. As the company, we've created approximately 1,200 jobs, and our suppliers have created 10,000 jobs. So it's at the center of localization, where everything that we do, from your training of our employees, training of communities, is through the factory that we've built.
Yeah, and you know, I was listening to an interview that the minister was doing during the course of the week, and I enjoyed the focus on railway, because that is a critical part of moving people as well as goods, which has experienced a bit of challenges in recent times, in particular if we look at the railway sector.
So yes, as the company, we've made a significant progress in that regard. And what we've also seen in terms of trains that we've manufactured and delivered to the customer, out of the 600 trains that we need to manufacture over 10 years, so far we have sold above 240 trains. And what's encouraging is to see from the customer, which is PRASA, they have opened up more corridors. And I think so far they've opened up 31 out of the 40 corridors. We've also seen progress they've made in terms of reviving some of the stations, and good progress has been made. And I think from our side, over and above the manufacturing of trains, we also have a division that focuses on maintaining trains so that we can guarantee the effectiveness and also the reliability of the trains.
But the infrastructure has also been a massive problem. We've seen PRASA at some point have to deploy security officials due to vandalism that takes place on these railway lines. What do you think as Gibela needs to be done to ensure that we don't see that kind of interruption? What was once the preferred choice of transportation for many people, I would give an example out of Soweto, coming into town, would be the train in order for you to get to work much faster and avoid all the traffic that you'd have if you're in your car. What needs to be done to address some of those issues? Because you can build all the trains you want. If the infrastructure is not there and is being vandalized, it defeats the purpose.
So the role that you play as Gibela is the manufacturer. So we manufacture and we don't operate. But having said that, we have a strategic partnership with PRASA, and through our engagements and also their strategic plan that we've seen, that they have a comprehensive plan on how they are going to deploy the trains. And we've seen their plan in terms of opening more corridors. We've also seen and engaged with them around issues of security. Recently, we took a train ride with their board together with the Gibela board. And as we were taking the south line, we saw securities deployed all over, which for me is quite a positive because it actually shows that infrastructure is now protected.
Yeah. And the role that you basically play, this obviously means that you have a rail sector which is a bit more efficient. And how do you hope that this, in the next coming years, these improvements will benefit the sector in the more efficient movement of goods and people?
So from our perspective, we are building the commuter trains. Our scope is only confined to that, meaning that it talks to moving people.
Yes.
But the way we have built our supply chain, as the country, we stopped investing in this space 3-4 decades ago. We needed to rebuild the skills at human resource level and also at supply chain. And we were encouraged when we went through different sessions with suppliers as far back as 2014, where we looked at capacity and capability that's in the country. And we're encouraged to find that especially those suppliers who are supplying us with components that goes in the train in terms of interior scope as well as metallics. So we're able to identify suppliers who had that capacity and capability. And in cases where there was no capacity and capability, we then used our supplier development team who worked with these suppliers, and they looked at all aspects of business from issues of quality to your environmental health and safety issues, to issues of production, where at some point they needed to make sure that they guide them on how best can they manage their supply chain, management of their sub-suppliers. And at the end, when one looks at our delivery schedule, we are on time, we are on track due to the capacity and the capability of these suppliers. And if we continue with that and through other projects that could come within the rail industry, we should be able to maintain that. Our understanding from the customer is that this is the first tranche of 600 trains, and there's intention of having more, meaning that we have built this capacity and capability and will continue retaining it.
Absolutely, a very crucial sector in the management, of course, of goods and services, the movement of that. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Buyiswa Mncono-Liwani, who is the Operations Executive at Gibela Rail, speaking to us during this Transport Month.